Dad said it like he was announcing tomorrow's weather. Calm, settled, unquestionable. "We're taking your workspace, Maya." My fork hovered in the air. Just one sentence dropped casually over dinner, yet heavy enough to tilt the entire room. "I'm Maya, 26, web developer, family technician, the one who keeps the house together even when the house pretends not to notice." Ethan slurped soda across from me, smirking like he'd won a prize he didn't even enter for. Mom added, "Your brother needs more room for his content. His followers are growing." All 38 of them. I didn't make a scene, didn't raise my voice. I just said, "All right, I'll clear it tomorrow." But something small and important inside me folded in on itself. That garage wasn't just a room, it was my life's backbone. 3 years of late nights, debugging until sunrise, sending invoices between classes, building a career out of nothing but stubbornness. Every client, every project, every hard-earned dollar, all declared disposable in one breath. But this wasn't sudden. It was the final straw in a timeline no one but me kept track of. When I was 16, I saved months for a used laptop. Ethan? He got a brand new phone because kids need to stay connected. In college, I juggled 2 campus jobs. Ethan failed community college, twice. They blamed the teachers, the system, the universe. Anything but him. When the furnace died last winter, I paid $20,000 without hesitation. They called me a blessing, then went straight back to expecting more. Dad's car broke down. I covered the 1-800 repair, still waiting for that soon repayment. Mom's car stalled on the freeway. I fixed it myself with parts I bought. They clapped for Ethan's C-. They shrugged at my honor roll. He was the potential. I was the safety net. Every small hurt I swallowed stayed somewhere in me, quiet and patient. So when Dad claimed my garage, he wasn't stealing a room. He was confirming a truth I'd tried not to face. My needs were negotiable. Ethan's were law. And once you see that clearly, you can't unsee it. The next morning, I sat in my car in silence, hands wrapped around the steering wheel, breath fogging the window. I wasn't crying. I was thinking. Bay Area rent was brutal. Everyone knew that. But the cost of staying, shrinking, serving, disappearing, felt worse. So I opened a rental app. The listings were depressing but honest. Studio in Oakland, tiny kitchen, old floors, decent sunlight, enough room for my desk, and peace. First month, last month, deposit, $550 each. My savings, $8,200. Not comfortable, but enough. I emailed the landlord, Janet. Attached my contracts, my credit score. She replied in less than an hour. "Available today. Want to see it?" Before doubt could lace up its shoes, I was on the road. The place was small, steady, and smelled faintly of lemon cleaner. No yelling, no footsteps outside my door, no printer screaming for me to fix it. Just a window humming with afternoon light and a floor that carried no expectations. "I'll take it," I said. My voice didn't shake. Back home, I didn't make announcements, I made adjustments. On Tuesday, I came back from the store with only milk and bread. Mom stared at the tiny bag. "That's all?" "Budget's tight," I said, then walked away. When the Wi-Fi dropped, I didn't touch the router. When Dad shouted about the printer, I kept eating. When Ethan asked for a ride, I sipped my coffee. Bus is right there. The house ran on my invisible labor. Once I withdrew it, the whole system sputtered. They didn't notice my distance, only the chores breaking down. At night, I moved little pieces of my life into the studio. A box at a time, my contracts, my notebooks, my tools, the essentials. By the time anyone noticed something was off, I'd already moved half my world. Thursday came. The sink overflowing. Lawn wild. Wi-Fi unstable. Mom stressed. Dad irritated. Ethan bewildered. I felt lighter, untied. For the first time in years, the math was in my favor. The break came quietly, as these things often do. Dad stepped into the garage with a tape measure. "Quick thing," he said. "I sold your workbench. Someone's picking it up tomorrow." I froze. "You sold my workbench? I built that, with my money." He flinched but continued. "Well, Ethan needs a real desk for streaming. You're moving to the basement anyway." There it was, the truth spoken out loud. My labor, communal property. My tools, negotiable. My dreams, movable. "I'll give you 100, he added quickly. "We'll split the money. $100 for years of sweat and lumber and late-night projects." "Keep it," I said. "Call it another investment in Ethan's career." He blinked, confused by how calm I was. I wasn't calm. I was done. The moment he left, I opened my phone and booked a U-Haul for Saturday morning. One $60 click. My escape plan locked in. That night, I pulled out my suitcase. Not for my tools, for my clothes. For me. "What's going on?" Dad asked from the doorway. "I'm moving out tomorrow." "Moving where? Why didn't you tell us?" "I signed the lease last week." "That's ridiculous," he snapped. "You're overreacting. We're family. You have a space in the basement." Family is guilt. Basement is gratitude. Old tricks, old chains. I picked up my notebook and walked to the kitchen. Pulled a sheet from the printer, grabbed a marker. At the top I wrote, Maya's contributions, last 12 months. Rent and utilities, $12,000 plus. Groceries, $5,000. Repairs and tech support, $7,000. Total, approx $24,800. Under that, Ethan's contributions, $0. Attitude, a priceless. I slapped it onto the fridge. Mom read it first, went pale. "It hasn't been that much," she whispered. "Check my bank statements." Dad read it twice, jaw tight. "The furnace wasn't that expensive." "T700, I corrected. "You said you'd pay me back." "I'm not here to fight," I said. "I'm just done pretending." Mom opened her mouth. "What about the internet? Ethan needs it for—" "I canceled the internet yesterday," I said. "Utilities too. My name comes off on Monday." Silence fell like dust. No Wi-Fi. No tech support. No free maintenance. For the first time, they had to stand on their own weight. Saturday morning, the U-Haul rolled into the driveway. I carried my boxes past them, steady, silent, finished. Mom cried. Dad lectured. Ethan stared at his useless ring light. I didn't yell. Didn't plead. Didn't justify. I just closed the truck door and turned the key. In the mirror, the house looked strangely small. Sometimes freedom is just a left turn. The first week in my new studio felt unreal. Like stepping into a life I didn't know I was allowed to have. No shouts from down the hall. No knocks asking, "Can you look at this real quick?" No sudden emergencies disguised as favors. Just silence. A small window. My laptop. My coffee. I kept expecting a crisis, a call, a demand. But the quiet stretched, hour after hour, like a room finally exhaling. On day 2, my phone buzzed. Mom. The internet stopped working. Did you really cancel it? I watched the 3 typing dots appear, vanish, return, vanish again. For once, I didn't rush to fix anything. Silence was my answer. Day 3, Dad called. The hot water heater is making a weird noise. I took a slow sip of my tea. There are tutorials online, I said. You'll figure it out. He hesitated, stunned. He wasn't used to me letting them feel consequences. By day 10, the real call came. Dad, voice tight, breath fogging against the phone. The furnace stopped. It's freezing. We don't have money for a repair. Of course they didn't. Their entire emergency plan had always been me. What's the error code on the panel? I asked. He read it slowly. I pulled up the manual. It's the igniter, I said. The part is cheap. Labor's the expensive part. He rushed in with the old script, the one they'd used for years. Can't you come fix it? I looked around my warm apartment, my name on every bill, my tools neatly arranged, not scattered between their demands. I can, I said, but there are conditions. Conditions? He repeated, baffled. I fix it once. After that, we sit down and go through the real numbers. Budget, responsibilities. And Ethan starts contributing. Job, rent, chores, non-negotiable. Silence. His pride cracked under the cold. A deal. The furnace took an hour. New igniter in. Heat humming again. Mom started thanking me, but I held up a hand. Kitchen table, bring your bills. They exchanged nervous glances. They were used to help without conversation, rescue without consequences. Then I turned to Ethan. You start paying rent, $250 a month. You get a real job within 4 weeks, and you mow the lawn. Learn basic repairs with Dad. That's not fair, he snapped. I don't have money. That, I said calmly, is why you get a job. Streaming doesn't count until it pays bills. He blinked, genuinely shocked that accountability applied to him. This was usually where Dad stepped in, where he shielded Ethan, where he reminded me to be patient. But not this time. Dad rubbed his forehead. Your sister's right, he said quietly. Things can't keep going like this. Mom nodded slowly. Even she couldn't deny the truth now that it was laid out in ink. Something shifted then. Not a fight. Not a win. Just the first crack of reality settling in. I stacked the bills neatly. I'm not cutting off love, I said. I'm cutting off being taken for granted. 6 months passed. I didn't rush to fix anything. Didn't step in automatically. And for the first time, they didn't expect it. The house changed. The lawn stayed trimmed, Ethan's job now. The porch light worked, Dad and Ethan fixed it together. The kitchen stayed cleaner. The shouting softened. The responsibilities spread evenly like they always should have. We set a rule. Once a month dinner. No surprise repair requests. No since you're here favors. The first dinner felt strange, like visiting a house I used to live in, but no longer belonged to. Mom opened the door with a timid smile. Dad stood straighter than he used to. Ethan avoided my eyes at first, but his posture was different. Less entitled, more grounded. The kitchen smelled like actual dinner, not panic. We ate, we talked, we didn't fight. Halfway through dessert, Dad cleared his throat and pulled something from his wallet. An envelope. Inside $500 in careful counted bills. It's a start, he said. We'll keep paying you back every month. No more putting it off. Something loosened in my chest. Not forgiveness, just recognition. Mom added, Ethan got moved to shift lead at the warehouse. Ethan shrugged, cheeks flushed. It's more work than I thought, and barely more money. Welcome to adulthood, I said, but without the old bite. Mid-meal, the dishwasher made a loud grinding noise. Everyone instinctively looked at me. Old reflex, old training. I stayed in my seat. Dad turned to Ethan instead. Check it tomorrow? Ethan nodded, not dramatically, not sulking. Just accepting. That was new. A few nights later, my phone buzzed again. Ethan. Got a bonus at work. Sending what I owe for the bike. And, sorry, I was kind of a jerk. $300 popped into my account. A tiny bubble of accountability. It wasn't the amount. It was the growth. For the first time, he wasn't relying on me. He was showing up. My boundaries stayed firm. I didn't loan money, didn't rush to rescue, didn't let guilt speak for me. I visited as Maya the daughter, not Maya the mechanic, not Maya the fixer, not Maya the invisible foundation of the house. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is step back. Not to punish, but to stop protecting people from their own consequences. Leaving didn't break my family. It broke their habit of leaning on me as if I had no breaking point. And once that pattern cracked, everything else softened, reshaped, steadied. I finally chose myself. And somehow choosing myself taught them to choose themselves too. If this story on Echoes of Life reached you where you needed it, don't forget to like, share with someone who's tired of carrying too much, and subscribe for the next story.